Hi everybody, Driving with Dane here, coming to you with another informative video. This time we're in a 2025 Volvo XC60. This particular one is a plug-in hybrid, but this video will kind of apply to all XC60s. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and start the car up. As you can see, we need to charge this one, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in charge mode. Turn these down. And we're going to turn the fan speed down. And then I am going to cover how to operate all of these things in here. So one thing I do like to cover as well is you can see this little notification popped up when I started the car. It says aged fuel, engine will run to consume fuel. So this is a plug-in hybrid. Basically, because it has a 35-mile all-electric range, a lot of times when you're driving it, you may not burn any gas at all. And over time, gas can get stale, essentially, and the engine still needs to run to lubricate the internal parts and everything. So if you get this notification, basically the engine's going to run for a while to burn some of that older fuel. You can disable this from sometimes by adding new fuel. So for example, if I was to go put a new tank of gas in this car, this message would probably go away and it would stop being on the engine, or stop requiring the engine to run. Now, this first part is going to be specific to the plug-in hybrids, but there are some things that'll be in all of the Volvos. So we'll push this little settings gear down here in the bottom. This is where almost all of your driving settings are. Push driving up at the top. Now on the plug-in hybrids, you're going to get this section up here. The non-plug-in hybrids will have everything else down here with the exception of creep. Because creep is specific to the plug-in hybrids. Basically, that makes it so the car rolls forward and feels a little bit more like a traditional car, as opposed to feeling more like it has one-pedal drive, like some of the full electric cars do. So we're going to scroll back up here to the top. You'll see a couple of drive modes: hybrid, power, pure, off-road, constant all-wheel drive. Hybrid is exactly what it sounds like. The car kind of dictates everything. It'll leave things mostly on the electric side until you put your foot down too much, or if you have an aged fuel message up here. Power will run the engine the full time for performance. Pure, you can see, is grayed out. That is because of the aged fuel notification up there. That is specific to, or that leaves it basically in full electric as long as the car has charge, and even if you put your foot down. Off-road and constant all-wheel drive basically adjust how responsive your throttle pedal down there is, where the transmission shift points are, and the power distribution between front and rear. Constant all-wheel drive also prevents the car from disengaging or uncoupling one of the axles, the rear axle in this case, for better efficiency. So constant all-wheel drive would be for those snowy, slushy days where you always want to be in all-wheel drive. And you can see there's a little checkbox under here that says always start in drive mode pure. Basically, if you always like to start on the electric side of things, you just check that little box and it'll stay in pure until you run out of battery, basically. Right underneath that, we've got battery usage. You can see auto hold charge. So auto is essentially hybrid. Basically, the car will dictate, whether it's using the battery or using the electric motor, whether it's running the engine to charge the battery, and just kind of swap between as needed. Hold holds the level of charge in the car, but does not add charge to it. Good example of when you'd use that, let's say you're driving long distance and you're going to be outside your electric range. So rather than use your electric up at the beginning, just hit hold. Drive there on gas, because gas engines get the most efficiency on long drives. And then switch back to auto and the car will drive on electric as needed again. Charge does exactly what it sounds like, runs the engine to charge the battery. You can see this little lightning bolt behind the battery at the bottom of the gauge cluster here. That is reflecting that the car is in charge mode and it is running the engine to add charge to the battery. So those are unique to the plug-in hybrid on the Volvo XC60. This looks pretty much the same across all of Volvo's models, be it the S60 or all the way up to the XC90, except for the refresh, which I'm going to go cover here in a little bit. Underneath here, you're going to see pilot assist, or your driver support section. So driver support, pilot assist is basically your lane keeping aid. So if you don't like it, you can hit this right arrow and it'll turn it off. Hit it again, adaptive cruise will turn off as well. But pilot assist is usually on by default. I like it quite a bit. Basically, it will just make the fine adjustments to keep you in the middle of your lane, but won't take the wheel from you. And then underneath here, safety assistance, lane keep, roadside information is where it shows you what the speed limit is. Obviously, this is detecting the road nearby, not our parking lot. ready to drive notification is this green ready you see over the park versus neutral drive. Because it's a plug-in hybrid, sometimes it doesn't make a noise when it first starts. And then creep, like I already explained. Steering feel firm just adds weight to the steering wheel. Volvos generally have a pretty light steering wheel, so if you like a little more weight to it, that's how you get there. Now, I just pushed this button. This is the home button. So you can see if I go to any of these menus, like the settings, push the home button, it'll take you back to here. Volvo's infotainment is all Google based, so it's pretty easy to along with. The nice part is the maps, if you tap on maps, are literally just Google Maps, and it does have Google voice command. So I can say, hey Google, find the nearest charger.
There's Blink charging station 0.3 miles away. Want to navigate there?
No, thank you.
How about Blink charging station 1.7 miles?
There we go. And then you can always cancel. You can also type in there, but this is just Google Maps. It's super easy to use. This little lightning bolt is specific as well for chargers. The non-plug-in hybrids just don't have the little menu up there. To go back, we're going to push this home button. And then in here, radio is pretty self-explanatory. You tap on radio, you can switch radio stations, you can favorite stations. This little setting button up here on the top lets you turn HD radio on or off. To change radio sources, you push this home button, come back to here, swipe to the left, and then you can see SiriusXM or Bluetooth media. You can also push these little squares, and then you can come over here and go to just straight radio. That'll take you to FM. Volvos do not have AM radio anymore. Not 100% sure why they did that, but just something to be aware of. This little 4 squares is basically your app view. So you've got maps, messages up there, all pretty self-explanatory. You can watch YouTube in here, so you can watch my videos if you're trying to learn something, while the car is not moving, of course. Driving journal is kind of like just a travel log. And then you can see Apple CarPlay in here. You do have to plug your phone in for Apple CarPlay. You plug into the little charge port there with the white outline. That's how you know which one to use. Down here, let's see, if we go to car status, this is actually kind of an important one. So Volvo won't actually list your tire pressures. Basically, you just put them to what it should be, and then it stores the pressures as you drive. If a tire happens to drop below that stored pressure, then you'll get a notification and you know you need to put some air in your tires. To check the oil is actually a little bit different. So you see this little oil line here, we tap on that, and then this will give you a readout of the dipstick. So you can see this is exactly where it should be. There's actually not a dipstick under the hood up there. But pretty easy. It'll tell you also when you need to, it'll give you a notification when you need to change the oil. You can come in here and check service. Volvo recommends once a year or every 10,000 miles. Now, to get out of here, we're going to push the home button. This will always take you back to this screen, and then you can kind of see this bottom bar will usually go to whatever we were in last. So in this case, it's at car status. Phone right there is just to pair Bluetooth. I'd say I haven't quite figured out how to record that since I do all this on my phone at the moment, but one of these days, if I figured out, I'll show you how to pair Bluetooth on this. That's kind of the gist of it for the home screen and the apps. Talk to you a little bit about this black bar down here. So we've got the camera button, 360 camera. You'll notice all these will fade here in a minute to give you a better view. To get them to come back up, tap, and then tap on whichever view you want, and this will zoom in. These bottom functions here, park sensors, just turn your parking sensors on or off, and rear auto brake is the function where when the parking sensors start to go off, if the car thinks you'll hit something or like there's cross traffic alert going off, it'll apply all 4 brakes for you. Works very well. It is a little jarring and it'll definitely wake you up. So that's the cameras. These also come on when you put it in reverse. Pretty easy. Underneath we've got climate control. So on this side, tap there. This is an Ultra, so we've got heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and then on this side, heated and ventilated seats as well. You can control all of these with Google, so you can say Google, or you have to say hey first. Turn the heated steering wheel on, turn the ventilated seats on, driver or passenger, all those kinds of things. Push the little climate control button there in the middle. This is where you can manually adjust things. So you can adjust your airflow to wherever you want it by tapping on the different sections. You can see max defrost, recirculate, all those kinds of things up there. Fan, and then temperature. These go in 2-degree increments, and you can sync or unsync driver and passenger. These actually have heated back seats as well, which are kind of handy. Let's see, from here, if we want to get out, oh, forgot, one more important function. So on the plug-in hybrids again, we do have parking controls in here. So while the car is plugged in, you can start preconditioning. Basically, the car will use the electricity grid to heat or cool itself. You can also do this through the Volvo Cars app, and that way you're not using your battery to run the heater or air conditioning near as much. It saves you a lot of energy, and you get into a heated or cooled car. Also important, these dots up here. So when it's windy, or not windy, when it's cold out, like during this winter, you can set the heated seats, heated steering wheel, rear defrost to all come on automatically when you start the car. Can be kind of handy, that way you're not going through menus, these things will just already be on. And then you can see there's also a menu, or an option to keep the heater on while the car is in electric mode. Does use a little bit more power, but definitely makes you a little more comfortable. That's the only one on here that's really unique to the plug-in hybrids. Now, again, to get out of here, we just push the home button. And then kind of the last section, this little settings gear here. We already went through driving up at the top. Sound is where you do all of your sound optimization. So you can move it to a specific seat. So for example, let's say I wanted it to all be on the driver's seat. If I wanted it balanced for all seats, turn the sub up or down. Surround is pretty cool, does change the sound, makes it really feel like everything's coming from the outside in. Or you can reset this back to factory. Pretty easy. If you get the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, there's a little bit more customization that can be done in here. This one has the Harman Kardon, which is a really good sound system, but the Bowers & Wilkins is knock your socks off good. That's behind sound, we have connectivity. So this is where you pair Bluetooth. Basically, like I said, I'll figure out how to do that one of these days. How to record that, if you're going to connect the car to Wi-Fi, all those kinds of things. Controls can be helpful. So these headrests are already folded on that side. But let's say I need to see back there and I want to fold that headrest. You push this button up here at the top, you'll hear that sound, and the headrest will drop. They do drop pretty quickly. We also have a wiper service position. Puts the wipers up to the side. That's how you change your wiper blades, because if you just try and lift them up, they actually will catch the hood up there. Push the check mark again, wipers go back down. Fold mirrors when locked is one of my favorite things about Volvos. So when you lock the car, the mirrors auto fold and you can always know they're locked. Mirror auto dimming is for this mirror right here. Just makes it so you don't get blinded. Adjust passenger seat just gives you basically another menu to adjust the seat. This is when the lights, or when you lock the car, the lights and horn go off. And when you unlock the car, you can make it so either just the driver's door unlocks or all doors unlock. You can also set it to close the sunroof shade automatically whenever the car is turned off. And lastly, we have the heads-up display. The heads-up display is always tricky to get to come across on camera. There it kind of is, you can see it. This is under controls is where you would adjust it. So you would hit adjust, and then you'll get a menu. Show you. Hit adjust, you'll get this little notification up here. Then you use these to move up and down, and these for brightness. When you're done, push the round button in the middle, menu will go away, heads-up display will stay up there. You can also tilt the heads-up display if you want, adjust how bright the ambient lighting. Welcome lighting is when you walk up to the car will kind of flash the lights at you. All pretty easy. Underneath controls, we have profiles. So because this is all Google based, when you buy a new Volvo, we generally go through and connect a key to a profile. So when you get in and start with the key, for example, it'll know that this is key number 1. It'll save your radio presets, your mirror position, and your climate preferences even. It'll also save your navigation preferences. So for example, your home and work addresses. It'll save all those things for you underneath your profile, which all connects to a Google account and is pretty easy. This is basically the menus in here to go through and change your profile name and set this up. Generally, this is done at time of delivery. It's a little bit tricky to show because I don't actually have an account to connect. And then underneath here, you can see speed limit. Speed limit for the care key, which is the orange one, basically just limits the car to 75 miles an hour. Think of it kind of like a teen driver mode. You can hit this back arrow up here. And then last but not least, we have privacy, Google, and system. These are all basically data sharing and app permissions, location permissions. This is Google's privacy agreement and Google Assistant commands. And then system just shows you if you're up to date or not. Those are kind of the main things in there. Not something you're going to spend a lot of time in these bottom three. And once again, this button to go home. Now, I do want to show one more thing on this car that's kind of tricky to explain, so I'm going to make a little video about it. We still got the car running here. Because this is an Ultra, you can see down here on the seat, there's another little adjuster. Now normally this would just be lumbar support, but because it's an Ultra, it has this little tab on the front. So what I'm going to do is pull this tab up, and you'll see this menu come up on the screen. If I pull the tab up again, you'll see it changes view, down, and down one more time. So now you can use the screen, or you use these little arrows here. So right now we're on the thigh extension. If I push the back arrow, it'll retract in, out arrow will retract out. If I go up, we can increase or decrease the lumbar in the middle right here, which is a little bit hard to see. And lastly, you can actually have more aggressive bolsters or less aggressive bolsters right here. Again, kind of hard to see on camera, but is pretty cool. That's been a bit of a tricky one, but it is on the driver and passenger side for the front seats. Very cool again, and super helpful. That's a pretty in-depth run through of how to operate this display. I didn't really go up here because this is just a notifications and how you switch profiles kind of at a glance. Also where notifications come up, very similar to a cell phone, pretty easy to get along with. Let me know if videos like this are helpful. Like I said, this is a pretty in-depth dive into the interior of this car. I didn't spend a ton of time up here, but that's basically because there's just a map or no map. And then this runs your cruise controls, which I can get into in another video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Keep driving with Dane, and thank you for watching.